Reggie Miller will be on the call tonight with Kevin Harlan and Stan Van Gundy. Western Conference Finals. It'll be Game 4 in Dallas at 9 Eastern on TNT. Before we get to that, Reg, thanks for joining us. It's a big night. Win or lose, we celebrate tonight. Just want to let you know that you will be there with us in spirit at the Sports Emmys.
We are the champions, my friend. Look, they cannot stop denying greatness. And gentlemen, we are great.
They have, Reg. They
have, but they cannot keep on doing it. That's my point.
Okay.
They have now.
All right.
But tonight is the night, Theodore, right? We're popping bub. I am going to have me a bottle of Dom on air, okay? I want you to text me after we win. And I'm going to have the camera pan to me, and I am popping this bub on air.
Okay, it's going to be about 45 minutes after tip-off when we're going to hear if we've won or not. Just letting you know, around 9:45 Eastern.
I'll let my producer know. It is on.
Okay.
We are the champions, okay?
All right. Can you go out to a strip club after you've lost a game in the playoffs and you have a game the next night?
Well, there's two schools. Well, tell me what the series is. What?
3-0.
Like what? 3-0. We're up or 3-0.
No,
we're down.
Down 3-0. It was Florida Panthers. They lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning, so they just came off a loss. It's 5-1. They reportedly went out to a strip club, and then they got shut out last night. Got eliminated first round. So no off day.
There's two schools of thoughts here.
Okay.
Either, number one, you have 1 foot on Air Canada or Air Cancun right now. Yeah. You have 1 foot on Air Cancun, and you're like, we're down 3-0. It's over. Let's go have some fun, gentlemen. Or, number two, we've tried everything else being isolated and, being hunkered down for the playoffs, and that did not work. Let's break the ice, have some fun, and try to get one game. Maybe that was the school of thought.
Okay.
If you're asking me, no. You cannot go to a strip club during the playoffs when you're down, but those could be the two schools of thoughts that these guys are probably thinking.
Well, it's like when Jordan went to Atlantic City and then came back after gambling until 2:30 in the morning. New York Times wrote about it, but Michael won. Therefore, it was okay. If he had lost, then they probably would have been pretty harsh on him.
In today's age of social media with Instagram, TikTok, and everything is instant, very difficult to do. It would have been interesting if social media was back in our day. Because I'm sure there's a lot of things that I look back on now and was like, oh, nope, can't do that. No, can't do that. Oh, wish I could do that, but can't. So, yeah, it's very difficult in today's age to do some of the things that I was allowed to get away with. But
the Bulls were down 0-2, Reg. Jordan goes to Atlantic City, comes back after the article comes out, and the Bulls win 4 straight.
So then we should all go to Atlantic City being down 0-2. It is okay to go to a strip club down 0-3.
I want to be like Mike.
What if they come back?
Yeah, I want to be like Mike. Okay.
I want to be like Mike.
I'm watching the game last night, and at some point, Eric Spoelstra has to say to his starting five, we're not gonna be competitive tonight. We're not going to play anymore. How do you say that to your team? How would you feel if Eric Spoelstra said, Reg, got to sit down. We're not going to win this game. Let's get ready for Game 5 in Miami.
Truthfully, he probably didn't have to say it to those guys. They probably went to Eric Spoelstra and said, Coach, I think I'm going to be holding a clipboard next to you the rest of the second half. This series, it reminds me a lot of my series versus the Knicks in the 90s. Both teams excellent defensively, and every possession is like a game within a game. It's a battle. And I think if you were Miami coming into Game 3 with the series tied 1-1. You just wanted to even the series up and regain home court advantage, which they did. Mm-hmm. And I think they left a lot on the table in that game. And this was I hate to say it, a throwaway game, right? We already recaptured home court. So whatever happens, happens. We will see a much better effort by Miami in Game 5 because the series is tied 2-2, and we know the winner of Game 5 generally wins the series, 77% of the time. So obviously we'll see a better effort back in South Beach by Miami. But let's face it, they just threw this game away because they had already recaptured home court.
You had no problem then with them sort of mailing it in and just we'll regroup for Game 5.
They play so hard at the defensive end. It's hard to expend that kind of energy. And I know, there's less than 48 hours, before the next game. But it's difficult, when you live possession by possession. And as great as Jimmy Butler is, and the injuries are mounting up for both teams, it's tough to, go 100 miles an hour for 48 minutes when they play like that. It's not like it's Golden State where the offense is flowing, there's ball movement. It's not that. This series is going to be won in the trenches. And it's going to be fun to watch Game 5 because it's going to be last man standing. If you look at both of these rosters and what's, major players, having to overcome adversity and play. So it's fun to watch, but it's fun to see, who's really in it, right? Theodore, who's really tough enough to finish this out? That's why I'm intrigued by this series.
Okay, who do you think would give the Golden State Warriors, should they advance, a better challenge in the NBA Finals?
Both.
Well, you got to pick one.
Great defensively.
But pick one. Who has the better chance to beat Golden State?
Wow. I will say this. I still believe Miami is going to win that series. But who would give Golden State a better series? I think Boston, because they have more offensive weapons.
Okay.
I'm not in love. Jimmy Butler, to me, is the only main offensive weapon for Miami. But you got Tatum, you got, Jaylen Brown. You got two guys that could absolutely score the basketball. I think that would be probably a better series versus Golden State. But I don't think they're going to be able to get by Miami. I could be wrong, but I'm not getting off the Uncle Jimmy bandwagon.
If you're Golden State, are you all in to win this game? Or do you say, let's see what we can do, and if we feel like it's slipping away, then we'll regroup and we'll head back home and win this in 5?
I think that'll be the approach. But if you're Steve Kerr and the Warriors, think about, for a fact that East series is going at least 6. And you've got some banged-up players. Otto Porter Jr. went down last game. Andre Iguodala has not played in this series. And Gary Payton II, because of the elbow injury, has not played. So if you can find a way to win this in sweep in 4, you buy time for those guys to get better. But on the flip side, you're up 3-0. It's human nature to let your foot off the gas and say, you know what, worst case scenario, we have 2 or 3 games at home. If something was to happen to win this series, we could very much well win this in 5 games back home and reward our fans by clinching this series in our building. I could see that happening, but this is where you fall into a trap because you're a twisted ankle away from something happening. That's why you try to put all your eggs into sweeping a team, but people don't understand how difficult it is to win 2 times on an opposing team's floor back-to-back, which Golden State is trying to do.
Reggie Miller, the Hall of Famers, on the call tonight, Western Conference Finals. It starts at 9 Eastern on TNT with Kevin Harlan, Stan Van Gundy. This is how it sounded last game with Reggie on the call with Kevin Harlan.
Brunson defends, snaps it outside to Wiggins. Goes by Drops the sledgehammer! But they're going to wipe it away.
They called it offensive foul. Wow. Oh, my goodness. I've got to see this again.
What'd you make of that call there, Reg?
Mark Davis, the official, he dropped the ball. No, seriously, because that should have been an and one, and for them to take 10 minutes to replay and go back and then overturn it, again, it didn't take away from it because it was such a spectacular finish and dunk by Andrew Wiggins, but it easily could have been marred because if Steve Kerr didn't have his challenge to be able to challenge it, it wouldn't have counted, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Mark Davis dropped the ball because that was an absolute. That's the dunk. Could be the dunk of the year.
Okay, is that better
the dunk
than
in the playoffs?
Better than John Morant's?
Wow. Yeah, because it's deeper in the playoffs. You know, it's yeah. If you look at that play, look where he started from.
Yeah.
I mean, he is 2 or 3 feet extended from the charge circle. Unbelievable effort. Yeah, I would have to say it's better than John Morant's.
Luka tried
and on top of that, and the sad thing about it is you've got 2 premier players doing it. Andrew Wiggins, and it wasn't like he was doing this on Maxi Kleber or Davis Bertans. That's Luka underneath there. That's Luka.
Yeah, in name only. He doesn't have the athleticism to be going up there.
He doesn't. But it's a name player. It's a body.
Yeah.
It's a body you could say that was Luka Doncic underneath there.
Okay, can the Mavs win with this roster? Can they win a championship with this roster?
No.
What would you add in the offseason?
I think you need, first of all, you got to find a way to sign Jalen Brunson if that's what your plan is, because he's the number 2 as we currently speak on this team. And you've got to get more consistent shooting. And I love me some Reggie Bullock, but you can't go 0 for 10, 0 for 7 for 3. If you're Maxi Kleber, you can't go 0 for 5 from 3. I mean, those guys were 0 for 12. And this team is predicated on knocking down threes. So more consistency, and you've got to bring in a fringe superstar to be able to play with Luka. I applaud them for getting to the conference finals with this roster. I mean, this is the same team that beat the overall number 1 team, Phoenix Suns, by like 40 points in Game 7 on their floor. So I applaud them for even getting this far.
Yeah.
Could they win a championship with this roster? No, and I think the further you go in the playoffs, the more you know this, cream rises, right? And your warts and your faults, they start to rise to the surface, and we're kind of seeing that right now with the Mavericks.
If you were playing against Steph Curry and he shimmied and turned his back after he, took a three-pointer, chewing on his mouthpiece, how would that go over, Reg, if you're guarding Steph Curry and he did that stuff?
There was a player I played against who was somewhat similar to this, and I to this day I tell people he was my hardest cover, and I hated him because he was that
let's try
good.
to guess. Let's try to guess. Paul, you want to guess?
The name that popped in my head was Nick Van Exel.
All right, I'm going to go Nick Van Exel. I'm going to go Vernon Maxwell.
No, he had the game, but he had the game.
Okay,
those guys didn't have the game.
Okay, Marv.
I'm going to go Drazen Petrovic.
Ooh.
There it is.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. Whoa.
Drove me absolutely mad with his antics.
Okay.
Because he was so good at scoring the basketball right in my face and talking junk right in my ear. And it just drove me crazy. And God bless Steph, and I love it. I love the antics.
Wait, you would have no problem if he embarrassed you like that?
Yes, I'm telling you, I had a problem with Drazen Petrovic, and I would have a problem. But if you're that good, do something about it. That's what Drazen used to say. Do something about it. Do something about it. And there was a lot of times there wasn't a lot I could do about it. So if you're upset with it, do something about it. So, see, here's the problem. In the 90s, you would get love tapped. All that stuff, he was doing, I would just tell my Davis boys, I'm gonna let him beat me. I probably wouldn't say I'm gonna let him beat me. He would have beat me anyway. And I would say, send him a message, and they would have sent a message. In today's game, you can't do that because everything goes to the review and the flagrant one, and you can't hit anyone above the shoulders. There would be love taps being delivered. You can't do that in today's game. So Steph can shimmy and shake all he wants because there's no repercussion.
If Steph wins another title, this time without KD, let's say he's MVP of the finals. Now we're getting into rarefied air. Now you're knocking on the door.
There's a door. There's levels of doors in the upper echelon.
Okay, top 10 door. Does he open the top 10 door of all time with another title and Finals MVP?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Then who comes out of the top? Who has to leave?
No one comes out. No one comes out.
Wait,
but
he's going into the top 10, so somebody's got to come out.
What? Oh, so there's only 10 people in this upper
in
echelon
the club,
door.
in the VIP area.
Who would come out? Okay, well, let's decide who the 10 are. Obviously, Jordan, Russell, Kobe, Duncan, Shaq.
Bird Magic.
Is that 7? Okay.
Wilt, is he in there?
Is Wilt over Hakeem? Is Hakeem in this?
Well, I love Hakeem, so I would have him.
Me too. I would have him in there too.
But he's not in. He's not in the top 10. He's not listed as the top 10.
All right, we're at a hard 7 right now.
Paulie, what's the 10?
Like consensus?
Yeah, consensus top 10.
Shaq's in there. A lot of people have Tim Duncan. A lot of people have Kobe Bryant.
No, Duncan should be in there. And Kobe.
Yeah, we have. I've said all those.
Larry Bird.
We're at a hard 7 right now.
So you got Jordan, Russell.
Okay, here's the question: Is Kate? Oh, LeBron. Excuse me, LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron is in there.
Duh, LeBron.
Oops.
8.
Yeah.
Oops, LeBron. That's 8.
Jerry West, Oscar Robertson.
Both only have one championship.
Who else is in there, Paulie?
That's pretty much you Magic. When you start getting Hakeem and Jerry West, you're now in the
I don't think you
11
get
to 20.
10. Here's a guy who will have won 4, 2-time league MVP.
Is he in the top 10 if he does that this year?
One-time finals MVP.
Yeah.
And the distinction of the greatest, and it's no debate, the greatest shooter of all time. I've got to say he would be in that discussion of the top 10.
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
Yeah. I think Bird might be expendable.
Have you been watching Winning Time? Are you kidding me?
Look, I love Bird.
Absolutely not.
It's longevity.
There's some people by default that can never get out of the top 10.
Are you taking Duncan out? You taking Kobe or Magic?
Nope.
Shaq?
Nope. By default, they're in. Okay. Magic, Bird, because they will forever be linked, will forever be in because they changed and they've made sure we have all prospered afterwards. Michael will never be out. Russell will never be out. And I think Duncan will never be out. Shaq can never be out. Kobe can never be out.
Yes, Paulie.
Kobe Bryant has 1 league MVP and 5 titles.
5 titles.
Steph Curry.
One-time scoring champ.
Steph Curry would, if he won this year, let's say he would have 4 titles, 2 league MVPs.
A unanimous one.
And a finals MVP.
Yeah.
But wasn't Kobe 2-time finals MVP?
Yes.
Boom, baby.
All right.
Can never be out.
All right. That's a good. Let's see if he gets there.
Yeah, there's a lot of work still to be done.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Starting tonight on TNT, 9 Eastern. I'll text you.
Poppin' bulbs. baby. Popping dumb. We're popping dumb.
I'll text you. We'll be at the strip club. Win or lose, we celebrate. That's our motto.
Oh, give Mandy 100 under the garter and tell her we're popping bub.
Now, we go for a budget, like a budgetary strip club.
Not if we win.
No.
We got to think big. See, that's the problem. We haven't been thinking big, gentlemen.
Thank you, Reg. Have fun tonight.
Appreciate you guys.
All
Love
right.
you.
That's Reggie Aloysius Miller Jr. III. If that would actually happen, where we win and we text him, and then he pops some champagne, that would be awesome.